how do users get the innovations out there? It's one thing to invent something for yourself. It's a whole another thing to share it.
So what we've talked about in other little segments is users innovate, and why do they innovate? And we've come up with a user innovation paradigm. Talked about the fact that users innovate for themselves, they might share their innovation, other users pick it up. The real problem, though, a market failure in that user innovation paradigm, is that those users, since they satisfy their own needs, don't have an incentive to push it out to others. I've solved my problem, I'm done. In contrast, manufacturers have a huge incentive to push something out. The whole reason they develop something is to sell a bunch of it. What is the incentive of an individual or collaborating user innovator group to say, okay, we've got what we want for ourselves, now we're supposed to push and make it easier for others? And often the work of making it easier for others is boring for expert lead users. It's like, listen, I know how to use Linux. Am I going to get in there and sort of do installation scripts and stuff? No, anybody who has any brains can do that. Why should I do that? The issue then becomes, how do we compensate for the fact that user innovation, even though enormously pioneering, enormously fruitful, has a shortfall in terms of a mechanism of getting out there? And there are two approaches. One approach is to say, okay, we are going to somehow make it easier for user innovations to get commercialized. If I'm a company, I'm going to set up a platform. The platform can support user-developed apps. I'm making it easy for a user who innovates in a particular area to come onto my platform, and my platform will do the diffusion, and that user will do the innovation. When you innovate as a user, if you want to 3D print something, you can contact a company like Shapeways. You send them your file, they do 3D printing, they have machines there to do it, they send you back your copy, and they say, by the way, if you want to sell that to other people, that's fine, we'll take care of it. We'll post your design, and we'll in effect publish it whenever it's needed. All of a sudden, you, with no effort for yourself, have become a producer. That's one approach, the approach of making it easier to commercialize user innovations. Because when you commercialize them, all of a sudden you draw in the producer's capability and incentive to diffuse. Again, it's a complement. The user innovates for himself, the producer wants to push it out to others. Great, link those two. The other approach is to say, wait a minute, we can create a commons where people can share with each other directly, independent of whether we commercialize. So for example, there's something called Thingiverse, which is a private website that people can post any designs they want that they have created that uses 3D printers, and anybody else can go there and pick it up. It's a diffusion mechanism because it says to an innovating user, you don't want to spend much time or effort in actually pushing your design out to somebody else. That's fine. Just throw it on this website. Everybody else knows to go there. It's easy for you. It's easy for others. So this is a whole different approach. One has to do with linking commercializers to users who innovate. The second has to do with creating innovation commons. It's something that governments can do to support the sharing of innovations. Governments now do a lot of work saying, hey, we're going to allow companies to patent things and protect them. They should do similar policy work saying, hey, there's a lot of user innovation out there that's stranded. Let's get it out there. Let's support the mechanisms to do that. And that is a new direction of policy making. One quick line on it, an example of how important this is. There are many doctors who come up with off-label, very valuable uses for new drugs. They seldom go anywhere because there's no system for diffusing them. Doctors who come up with these innovations say, I would spend 15 minutes posting my discovery. That's it. 15 minutes, I'm a busy guy, I get nothing out of this, but I'm happy to share. A system could be set up for that, but it's not today. We could so get stranded user innovations out there to everybody's benefit by investment in this kind of diffusion policy and research.